Hey guys, Arm&Gun here. Today, welcome to the show. Disassembling not this gun. This is just a bonus gun. I'm getting that out of the way nice and early today. The G36K. Pretty slick little unit. This thing just showed up and I'm super pumped because this now will complete my trifecta of G36s, which you will see on this channel later. And I guess I'm kind of giving away the fact that there also might be a C. Today, anyways, we are disassembling really quickly the Tavor TAR-21 chambered in 5.56. I will prove really quickly that this thing is super simple to disassemble, at least insofar as you need to disassemble it for ongoing just, lubrication, cleaning, that kind of thing. To actually change the barrel out or do some real work, swapping the conversion of the caliber, or changing the bolt from left hand to right hand, because you can do that. And again, you can barrel changes as well, but that's a little bit more work. You have to take off the top rail, you have to take off more stuff up here. I'll save that for a later video. Again, today we just want to work on popping this thing actually apart. Also, drums suck in Tavors because the drums get in the way, just as a PSA. Public service announcement. Okay, cleared. You want the trigger cocked back when you're doing this. And something I'm going to show you today that hardly anyone shows you is actually how to disassemble the bolt carrier group and check out the bolt. And I apologize, it's super bright right now, and I was going to throw a filter over the window, but I kind of figured the sunlight might make some of this easier to see. It's a bit intermittent sunlight. Anyway, so to kick things off, take a 5.56, just punch out this retained captive cross pin. Comes all the way out. Sometimes it's good to put a lot of pressure on the butt pad because, well, the operating system is pushing back on this and it puts that under a bit of tension, which rides on this pin. So again, sometimes push in, pop the pin out. This thing just folds down, super slick. And then you can grab your front of your charging handle here. Just rotate that guy on back all the way. And your carrier comes out as a complete unit. And a lot of guys are just like, they leave it like this, or like, yeah, you don't really need to clean it, it's fine. And this thing is coming out after, I don't know, this thing's probably got 400, 500, 600 rounds on it. I shoot this gun quite a bit and I almost never clean it. It is an external piston gun, so it remains very nice and clean throughout the inside of the chassis here. And again, you can just take an AR-15 upper receiver brush, kind of brush that out. You can take a typical bore cleaning rod, just run it through your typical procedure, bore snake, whatever you want to do to clean the barrel out. Inside this chamber is a little bit, there's kind of some stuff going on in there, but really just get the gunk out. You mainly want to focus on the rails that this carrier rides on. Otherwise, it's this thing was designed to be incredibly durable and incredibly reliable. I've never had a hiccup out of it, and again, I just almost never clean it. This is kind of like my go-to-work gun. This is easily my most shot 5.56 semi-auto. So now what most guys never show you is how to go further than this. And you'll realize it's very similar to, an AR-15 in the sense that there's a little cross pin to pull your bolt out. And no one ever shows you how to go further than this, except for actually Brownells. I finally found a video that showed you how to do that. And to do it, because you can't just push it out, it's stuck in there. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to pull the recoil assembly all the way back, and this little bar right here, you got to pull it out further as well, because that guy is locking in. It's preventing this from popping out. So once this is all this stuff is out as far as it can go, just go to the back side of this, give it a little push, and it's gone. It's out of there. And it's under a little bit of pressure. That's just the firing pin spring. It's not going to shoot off on you, but just to be mindful of that. So I got some little bit of crud in here and some little bit of brass debris building up in there. Again, external piston gun, so it stays very clean, but we'll set that off to the side. Pull your bolt out and your firing pin and firing pin spring. So you can pull these all apart, wipe everything down, relubricate it. Again, this is unlike DI AR-15s, as Brownells claimed, you don't have to worry about hot gases touching this, so you can lube this up as much as you want. All right, so let's put this thing back together. So first things first, firing pin spring, which is this nice braided wire there. Over top of the firing pin, again, note that there's this flat section. The flat section is gonna face up, and it's gonna hook over the back part, this little notch in the back of the carry here. So I'll get that a little bit closer for you guys to see once it's in. It's kind of easier once everything is, the bolt carry and everything's back in, or the bolt's back in, but it kind of has to sit on that little lip in the back there. Okay, so we're just gonna let that sit there. And then we're gonna stick our bolt in. So ejector, right now we're set up for right-handed shooters, so it's gonna eject out the right side. Have that ejector facing the right side of the carrier. Let that guy ease in there. Keep some pressure on the back of that firing pin spring. There we go, and she's all the way in there now. So you can now see a nice little opening here for your cam pin to go back through, your cross pin to go back through. And there's a little cutout in there as well. That's for this thing to retain it. So we're gonna pop that guy in. This guy again also has a flat side sectioned off. And that flat side is going to be flush with this cut here. That's the only way you can install it. I guess you can install it upside down, but then you're not gonna be able to get this thing back in. You can see once it's in correctly, you're going to have that forward rotating movement of the bolt. The firing pin spring is just back here, and it's gonna have enough play that the hammer can strike it and, you know, push it forward. So when it's all locked up, you can see the firing pin protruding through the bolt face just barely when it's all the way locked in there. And now this closes shut again. Everything is locked in place real good, and you're ready to toss this sucker back in your gun, go back to the range. For lubrication, again, you can lubricate the bolt body itself. And again, these inserts here where it rides and rails, those are your main places where you want to keep this thing all lubed up. And for this now, just gonna slide her back in here. You want it all pushed forward and stuff when you're doing that whole carrier assembly. Pop this guy back in, put some pressure on it, slide that cross pin back over. Come on, let's go here, buddy. There we go. All right, so she's in. Cool beans. Function check. This gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous Geisley trigger. Boom. And she's $1 million. Reset. Everything is golden. We are good to go. That is the disassembly of the TAR-21. Stick around for the rest of the week. I'm going to shoot this thing first person style. We're going to do an overview on the accessories, accessorizing this thing out as I've done. Again, this is my personal gun, so I've actually spent some time picking and choosing all these things. And then we're going to do a bit of an overview of the gun as well. Go through the ergs, go through the history of the gun, go through just some IDF use of it. Just good old-fashioned knowledge. That's it for today, guys. Thanks a ton. Arm&Gun out.